Things are quiet in New York for a change, but you know how some people are.
I sense an aura of evil over the city. I feel it lurking, ready to pounce. I cannot pinpoint its presence, but wherever it strikes, Thor shall be ready.
As my dad used to say, some folks just can't stand prosperity. He had a friend like that. One day he was fishing for the right way to describe this guy, and I piped up and said, show him any silver lining and he'll find the cloud. Thor is like that. A lot.
You would not be so confident, Thunder God, if you knew your archenemy Loki was on Earth once more. No Earthling must suspect the identity of the God of Evil. So, I shall appear as an earthbound mortal. Once again, I shall use others to help me vanquish the accursed Thor.
Perhaps then I may have the leisure to purchase a suit that fits.
You want to pay the bail for the Cobra and Mr. Hyde? But it's $500,000.
Release them.
That's over $4.5 million today, and he carries the cash in his pocket. Nobody asks questions. We met Mr. Hyde already, but this will be Cobra's first appearance. Basically, he got some snake DNA in himself and became the ultimate contortionist. He can slither almost anywhere that his head will fit, which comes in handy if you want to rob a bank or accidentally lock yourself out of the bathroom. Neither of them seems all that good at taking orders, so how will they respond to Loki?
Why did you pay $500,000 to free us?
And what are you after?
My objective, gentlemen, is the same as yours. Revenge! And you shall help me get it. For Thor is your enemy as well as mine.
So while they're fighting Thor with superpowers, the geek here will, what, hit him with a lawsuit?
True. But who are you?
I have no reason to conceal my identity from you. I am Loki, half-brother to Thor himself.
Okay, perhaps he does bring something to the table. He waves a hand and doubles their powers.
But you must obey my orders to the letter. Your first task is to capture Jane Foster, the nurse who works for Dr. Don Blake.
Capture the who, the what's for the which? They want to know why, but he's not about to tell them. If everybody knew, Dr. Blake would never have time to see another patient. He'd have to fire Jane, she'd go broke and end up on the street. Just don't do it.
You may go home now, Jane. I won't need you anymore today.
You might need me if you decided to take a girl out to dinner.
Dom! Help!
Jane!
He's taking her to dinner, duh. He figured it didn't have to be Blake. If she's hungry, most any dude can pay.
I'd take her. Just in time. So, capturing this puny female was enough to bring you back to me. Stay back. Come no further if you value her life.
He'll stop, even though a quick flick of his hammer to Hyde's face would be enough to make him let go before he could do anything to her. Where Jane is concerned, Thor is worse than a fussy grandmother.
I've waited a long time for this victory over you, Thunder God, and I want to enjoy it.
Jane, be brave. I'll save you somehow.
I'm sure that's comforting, and how does Thor know her name anyway? It won't take him long to figure out who told them to kidnap Jane, but Loki is one step ahead of him.
See, noble Odin, how cowardly Thor has grown. See how he allowed those two evil ones to escape because of a mortal girl? A girl you have forbidden him to marry.
Yes, Odin said Thor can't marry her. That means he should just let villains hurt or kill her? Being the good and righteous judge that he is, Odin passes sentence without hearing a word of defense from Thor. The thunder god suddenly finds himself banished from Asgard, and nobody will even bother to tell him why. This was always my issue with these mythological deities, whether they're Greek, Roman, Norse, Aztec, Flern-Declernian. They all amount to people creating gods in their own image. Humans are fickle, stupid, and impulsive, and their first instinct is always to fight with each other, so the gods must be the same. My question, If they're no different than we are, what good are they? What are we supposed to take away from their existence that does anything for our own lives? They sound just like us. Odin, Thor's chasing a girl. Thor, stop chasing the girl and annoying your brother. Dad, Loki's trying to kill me. Loki, stop pestering your brother. I would if he'd just quit arguing and die. Well, work it out quietly, you two. I'm trying to read the paper.
No power in Asgard shall prevent me from finding Loki. Back, or answer to the fury of my hammer.
Don't say he didn't warn you. The only one who isn't willing to fight with him is Loki.
If I were foolhardy enough to fight you, you would defeat me. But you cannot strike at one who stands quietly before you. Your stupid honor would not permit it.
Take heed, evil one. I have my breaking point.
Yes, I can see that. You might strike out at me.
To deflect that, he produces an image showing Thor where the others are holding Jane.
Thor, you dared force your way back to Asgard against my imperial command? Will you compel me to do battle with my own son?
No, but he might try to force you to shut up and listen to him for 2 minutes. Odin is a terrible father.
1,000 pardons, noble father. I did what a warrior must do. An innocent life depended upon my finding Loki. I could not shirk that task.
Words, not but hollow words.
Fine, let's hear your explanation. You already tipped your hand because Odin saw that vision you showed Thor. He says we'll talk about this when you get back and sends Thor to the place Loki revealed. What is Odin up to? As soon as he figures it out, he'll let us know.
The house is quiet. Too quiet. It's a trap. The walls are reversing. They're closing in on me. But nothing can crush my Uru hammer.
That's what they came up with? Maybe a gas grenade will be more effective.
Now, Thunder God, prepare to fight on my terms.
Tear gas grenades. All my might cannot protect me from the choking fumes.
He could spin his hammer real fast and blow the fumes away from himself, but he's done that before. The rules don't allow him to use the same trick more than once.
I must open a vent.
Thor's desperately clutching fingers twist the grid from the wall, opening a live pipe, which ignites the gas fumes.
Ordinary tear gas isn't combustible. Who knows what these guys were using, but they should have gone with the over-the-counter stuff.
My gas mask saved me from the fumes. But what of Thor? There he is. I've done it. I've slain the god of thunder.
He really thinks a simple explosion killed Thor. Tell me you don't know what immortal means without telling me you don't know what immortal means. He's walked away from stuff 10 times worse than that. This is the problem with earthbound villains like Hyde and Cobra. Their thinking is earthbound. They assume that because he looks like us, he's basic flesh and blood just like us. The mythology never does tell us what these gods are made of, but I have a feeling it's quite a bit tougher than that. Still, he runs off to tell Cobra about it.
Those fumes temporarily stunned me. But now, I must find Jane. Every second counts. There. There's something lying in the rubble. It's Jane. She was trapped in the explosion. She's barely breathing. Her pulse is growing weaker.
Good thing Don Blake is a doctor, eh? Except Thor won't think to draw on that. Instead, he'll slide into a panic. He insists that all his power can't save her. His physician knowledge probably could, but I guess that would be cheating.
O mighty Odin, hear my words. In the name of Asgard, do not let this female perish.
Will Odin relent and aid his son?
Or will he let Jane die, putting an end to their forbidden romance?
Gee, give me a minute on that one. If he wants to alienate his son and be at odds with him until Ragnarok, let her die. Do we really think he doesn't know that? While he ponders, Thor has an idea.
I have the power to make time stand still. I'll create a time warp which will envelop this house.
Odin is impressed. He's decided to save Jane's life.
Loki, by my imperial command, you are to take this message to Hyde the healer. He will find a remedy for the one called Jane.
I shall obey at once, noble one.
Odin, just how thick are you? Loki caused all this in the first place, and you're trusting him with the message? I really think Odin is a tad senile. He does not pay attention to what's happening under his big gray nose.
Balder the Brave intercepts Loki.
I'll deliver that message, crafty one.
Can it be? My own peers turning against me?
Nay, Loki. We are not thy peers, for none can match thee in villainy and deceit.
What Odin doesn't know can't hurt Thor. What did they do with Loki? As long as it's unpleasant, who cares?
Attack me at will. I'll crush you both.
No, I'll get him first. He's mine. Back, you slithering fool. The first blow must be Hyde's. I warned you not to try to give me orders, Hyde. Now, since you're so eager to land the first blow, go ahead.
Many superheroes don't appreciate the simple pleasure of standing back and watching the bad guys beat each other up. After they've weakened each other, it's a simple matter for Thor to wrap them up. Now about Jane. The first thing he has to do is release the time warp.
It is the glistening sword of Balder. Can this be the miracle I dared not hope for? The medicine is hers. Odin has ordained that the female shall live.
Holy switch endings, Batman. I don't think anybody saw that coming. The Hyde-Cobra team-up was a thing for some time, but as best I can remember, this is the only time we'll see it in the cartoons. As enemies of Thor, I'm not impressed with them. Even after Loki doubled their abilities, they were as effective as spitwads. All these guys think defeating Thor is a matter of using the same basic methods we use to hurt each other, like kicking, hitting, throwing things, and blowing stuff up. They've watched scads of other villains try the same techniques without success, but oh, it'll be different when I do it. Thor wound up with much the same problem that Superman did. He's too powerful. Finding a real challenge for him pretty well requires taking the story to Asgard, or else putting someone like Jane in danger. Really, I bought all the Thor comics and read them faithfully, but I much more enjoyed the second feature in them called Tales of Asgard. This followed the exploits of Thor's three friends, Fandral the Dashing, Hogun the Grim, and Volstagg the Voluminous. These guys fought monsters to protect Asgard and all that good stuff, and I found them a lot more fun to read about than just Thor. It's too bad they didn't make it into these cartoons. Best I could find, the closest we've gotten is this 2011 cartoon called Thor Tales of Asgard. It features all the characters, but I don't know how well done it is yet because I'm waiting for Amazon to deliver it. But for now, our writers were on a quest to find an earthly foe who could genuinely give Thor a run for his money. As of the end of this story, we're still looking.
Cross the rainbow bridge of Asgard, where the booming heavens roar. You'll behold in breathless wonder the god of thunder, mighty Thor.
Looks like his tradition of using the same basic